Hey folks, if you've navigated to this particular video, there's a reason, and this is the reason. You have a stent that goes from your kidney to your bladder, and it has a string tied on it. So here is the end of your peeing business right there. That is the string. There is the one end. And then, and there is the other end right there. So that baby is up in there. I watched some videos, found out what this thing is all about. This is a flexible rubber hose. This end here is up in your kidney, and then this end here is in your bladder. And then if you look closely, and this is important here, if you look, the string goes through the side and then out. So you have this fishing line arrangement coming from your bladder out, and then you just go about your business, just urinate and whatever, and everything's fine. But when it comes time to take it out, you pull, steady pull, and out it comes. And I'm like, okay, what happens if the string gets wrapped around and gets twisted, and all of a sudden you're pulling out this thing like that's a knot, and this was part of my anxiety. The mechanics of it, this thing, like I said, it unfurls, it unwinds, it, whatever you want to say. Like there, let's say that's in the bladder right there, right? Can you see that? Yeah. And then as you pull, it just straightens out. It doesn't get wrapped, and it doesn't, do anything. And it's nice and, pliable. I was supposed to pull it out this morning. We had decided, Tammy and I, my wife and I, she said, listen, we can get it out before we go to bed, and you don't have to, you can get a good night's sleep. And, it was just a little earlier than, whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. We watched a movie. About an hour into the movie, I took, some kind of painkiller like they recommended. And then when the movie was over, I'm like, I don't think I can do this. I went into the bathroom. I was going to do it in the shower, and I couldn't even get my socks off. Like thinking about yanking this thing, pulling it, because I'm thinking to myself, I know that little thing is going to get jammed up in there. And yeah, so I just told Tammy, I'm like, I can't do it. We're going to have to go into the office and have the nurse do it. She's like, okay, but I'm sure we can do it, but that's fine. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, all right, I'm going to give this a whirl. So instead of 2 seconds, pull it out, I decided I was going to inch it out. But even more specifically, I was going to millimeter it out. And that's what I did. I sat down, and I grabbed a hold of the old string, and I just started, and I grabbed a hold of the thing that the string was going into, and I just, got a good, I felt like that would help, my anxiety, just having everything just stationary. And then I just started inching, millimetering, little bit. And literally, it took me half hour. Stop and then hang the string down. I thought, okay, the string's getting longer. It's not like it's sliding back up in there. I am making some progress. And then I looked down. I thought, I got to be getting close here, right? And then finally I looked down, and I saw this little knot. So I thought, and I knew that knot was close to the stent itself. And then I just, kept on pulling and just inching. And then all of a sudden, I saw this little blue thing. At that point in time, it was probably about 10 seconds. I just pulled, and I'm like, okay, it feels okay. Pull, and out it came. I didn't feel anything as it was coming down the ureter. No pressure, nothing. It came out. About an hour later, that tube, that ureter, it started cramping up like I was having a kidney stone event. But That's okay. It was what was expected. And, I took some pain meds, squirmed around, no big deal. I knew the stones were out. I knew this was out. I was super happy. So bring on the pain. That's okay because it's just about over. And then it subsided about an hour later. This tube here is very smooth and flexible. I kind of thought when I saw this on the internet, like, oh yeah, this thing coming out of the kidney, I can just see it's going to come down there and just scrape on down that ureter. Just, of course not. How big is it? How big is this opening? It's tiny. Here's the tip of a ballpoint pen, right? And then here is, there you go. Size comparison. It is pretty darn small. And the line, as you can see, it is designed so that when you pull it, the one end goes in the side, the other end comes out the hole. That's how it's tied off, and and it pulls it right out. So I really felt compelled to share that with you because my mechanical mind said this is going to hurt or it's going to be uncomfortable and I'm not going to be able to handle it. And all in all, it wasn't bad. If you are going to have a stent put in and the doctor says something about like, hey, we can put a string on it, definitely do the string. It gives you the option of taking it out yourself or going into the office and having the nurse take it out. If you don't have a string on your stent, you go into the office. They do not put you under, at least from everything I've read and what they told me when I called and when I talked to the doctor. And they insert a little camera thing up into your, where you go, take your pee. Up it goes, and then when they get in there, and I was watching, if you look on the internet, there's one guy who described it. That was the most painful thing. Once they got up there, and he, and like I said, they don't put you to sleep. He was a video guy like myself, and he had his camera out and he was videoing the monitor, so it's a good video. But you see these little grabber things, like grabbing onto this piece, and then pulling it. But once it's grabbed and once it starts out, then that all bets are off. It's coming out. But the painful part would be if you did not have this string and they had to go in that way and you're awake. Not good. I don't think so. So if you have an option, and the doctor says, hey, we may put a stent in, say, can I have a string? He's like, well, do you think you could pull it out? Maybe, maybe not. If you think I could, I'll try. I might not be able to. But don't you think, Doc, when I go into the office, I don't have to jam that scope up? String, it's a good thing. Even though it's hanging out, and you're peeing on it and whatever, it's not a big deal. And that's it. Mike with kidney stones, or I should say Mike with, hopefully, without kidney stones. I'm signing off.